Hello everyone, I'm Srimanti and I'm currently working as an ML engineer. So there are three main libraries that we often use when we are trying to implement any machine learning algorithms. So these are NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. I have used NumPy and Pandas and Matplotlib previously when I was implementing machine learning from scratch using just Python, and also when I was implementing machine learning using standard libraries like scikit-learn. But today I'll be diving deep into the fundamentals of these three libraries and the functions that we use. So Matplotlib is a Python library that is mostly used for drawing plots and bar graphs, and it is an extremely important tool for analyzing any kind of data. I'll suggest go on to Kaggle, find any data set and try to analyze it. Try to draw plots, try to manipulate it, change some values and see how it's affecting the overall data. So try to do that. That will solidify your basics and your understanding of Matplotlib. So let's start. So first I'll import Matplotlib. So this is the standard way to do that. Import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Next comes just the absolute basic of Matplotlib. You have some x list, you have a y list, and you want to see how y relates to x, how y is dependent on x. So let's get that going. So first is that I just now taught you linspace, NumPy linspace function, which basically plots. This is the first one. This is the first value, and the last value, let's just have pi and 200 points. 200 equally spaced points between 0 and the max value, which is 2 multiplied by pi, 2 pi. And y is np.sin x. Now you will have to do plot. This is the most basic function of everything. You just see this is the sine curve from 0 to 2 pi. And this is very basic, absolute basic. Now comes a little bit more advanced. Not advanced, but a little bit closer towards the intermediate. So what we'll do here, we'll add the figure and axis. So what are they? So Matplotlib graphs our data on figures. So for example, Jupyter widget is a figure and so on. So each figure can have multiple axes. So these axes, on this axis, you can draw multiple plots so that you can compare the different graphs. I'll show you an example. Let's have similar one and let's compare sine and cos. So how can we do that? Let's have the same thing, 0 to np.pi and then 200 x. Now let y be sine x and let z be np.cos x. Yeah, so maybe just not get into z right now. So now be very careful. So figure and axis. We can do that by using plt.subplots. Remember this is very, very important. Axis.plot would be x and y. And then you will have plt.show. You can guess this will show the same thing. But you have here axis and the figure. So now what you can do is, let's add something. So axis.plot x comma z. So as I was writing z there, z is np.cos x. Cos x. So now if you remember, if you do this, you will have something very cool. So you'll have both graphs in the same plot with different colors. So now you can compare, you can see how cos and sine are going. So this is pretty cool. One more thing you can do is, I'll show here, you can draw a label. You can give this a label. So this is sine and this is cos. So you can have here like this. So what will this do? So one is cos and one is sine, but here you also need to do legend to show the legend. Now you see, so one was sine, one is cos, and this you can see here separated by the color. You can change the color if you want, but generally you don't need to do that because it will be of different colors. And this legend you can put it here. This makes the things very, very easy. Okay, now there's one more thing. Now if you want to add an x-axis, let's just have an x label. So the x label way to go is have this as, I don't know, points. Let's just have points. See, now you have the x label. Similarly, you can also have y label. So here it would be sine and cos, or maybe you can have set y label. You can have comparison of sine and cos. Sine and cos. There you go. I have comparison of sine and cos, you have points. This is very important. Another one which is very important is set title. You can set a title. Just remember this will make your life very, very easy. Your college, whether you're in college or trying to submit an assignment to any startup company when you're applying, you can always submit a notebook like this, or you can also have some graphs showing the way you have analyzed the data. This will solidify your application and make you a very strong candidate. So let's just say this is a comparison graph. This will give your title. This makes things look very, very nice, and it shows you that you are actually like pretty, you know everything, and you are pretty in grasp of what you're doing. You're not copying from something. You know what you're doing, and if they ask you how you did this, how you did that, you know everything. Great. So now what comes is a bit different thing. Now we will do, now we'll have a little more fun. So what we'll do is now let's do some experiments with the figure. So you can imagine you don't have any access here. So it's a 0 axis. So it will not do anything. Basically useless. So now comes, let's have a 2D axis. So what does that look like? It's always the same thing, subplots, and now you will give the size. So it's 2 cross 2. So what should this look like? Let's see. Yeah. You have not drawn anything. So it's like 4 such graphs together in the same plot. So let's have these. You can reference by using these. Dot plot. You already have x and y. So it will plot sine here. As you can see. Next comes 0 and 1. You can plot anything you want here. X, comma, z. We have plotted sine and cos. You can also have scatter plots. Cause why not? Dot scatter. Remember this, you need plot, normal plot, you need scatter plot, and you need bar. Bars, I'm coming. X and y, let's have scatter. So this is a scatter plot. Because it's 200 points, so that is why it's very, very close. Otherwise, it's fine. Next comes, yeah, so this is done. This is done. Next comes something different. So let's do, these are all like 2D plots, but you also sometimes need 3D plots. 3D plots can make like the notebook look very pretty when you're trying to analyze things. And you might actually have 3D data. Let's do that. So let's say X is np dot linspace 1 and n. Ys would be, I don't know, let's say it's sine xs into, let's just say 6 pi. Anything, I mean, you can give anything you want. This is just an example I'm giving. np dot cos xs into 6 into pi. Yeah, so now you know what to do. Figure, comma, axis equal to plt dot subplots. Now there's the thing that will differentiate you from the, differentiate it from the 2D plot. So this is basically this thing, projection 3D. This will matter a lot when you're trying to do this. So this basically tells it to do a 3D plot. So now again, axis dot plot, give all three, ys and zs. And then plt dot show. There you go. It's a 3D plot. So this comes in handy like in many cases when you're trying to analyze 3D data. You cannot obviously have, if you have more dimensions, you do not want to bring it down to 2 dimension, then you won't be able to understand it fully. Cool. Now let's do some classification data. These were all continuous. Now let's do some discontinuous data, that is bar graphs. So let's say we have some data. So apple, maybe, I don't know, let's have apples as 10, oranges as, I don't know, 15. Lemon, let's have 5 lemons. And let's have lime. 20 lines. Cool. So this is the data. So now you have the names and you have the values. So get the names out because that will help in your bar graph. Data.keys. So it's a standard Python, like, this is a dictionary. So list data dot values. So once you have this, now you will do the same thing again. Pick comma axis equal to plt dot subplots. Let's have now 1 cross 3. I'll show you 3 different plots. And this is one special argument that you can use to fix your size of the figure or size of the plot, basically. The resolution, technically. Yeah. So let's have bar as names and values. Simple thing. It will plot a bar graph. Yeah. So we have 3 values here. And this is giving names and values. So as you can see, apple, orange, lemon, lime. This shows the value like in a proper bar graph. Next comes the scatter. As I already said, scatter would be something like this. Scatter names, comma, values. You have a scatter plot here. Same way. And there's one more thing you can do. Let's say 2.plot. This is normal plot again. Names, comma, values. So you have a normal plot. Now one more thing that often comes in handy. I had also used in one of my college assignments. So you can basically, when you're trying to submit a graph and you find that the letters are very long, the names are very long, then you can do rotation. So basically when you're trying to do this when I was trying to submit a college assignment, I found that this comes in very handy, the rotation. If the names are very long, then you can rotate it a little bit to fit it in the data. So in the graph. So here you can see apple, orange, lemon, lime. This is like pretty small. So let's just make this, I don't know, let's make it lemonade. Let's write that twice, lemonade, lemonade. So now you'll see this. See here, they are getting all over each other, but here they are like very clear. So this comes in very useful. Remember this one? You can like do anything in very, very easily. Yeah. So I hope this was clear. I covered the Matplotlib, NumPy, and Pandas all in great detail. This should be good enough for you to get started on any kind of Kaggle dataset. As I said, just download the dataset and try to analyze it yourself. Try to plot the different statistics using Pandas. Try to manipulate some of the data using NumPy and try to plot it out and understand everything, the analysis and everything using Matplotlib. This will really help you to get comfortable with data, and you can do easily like any kind of data that is thrown at you. You can just do an analysis of it and put it into different categories, and you will know which algorithm to use next. So I hope this helps. Please drop your questions in the comments if you want me to cover any other function. If you did not understand anything, I would strongly suggest to rewind it and to try to understand it. But if you still don't get it, you can drop a comment below and I'll try to answer it. I hope this helps. Thank you.